All right, we're going to do something a little bit different today on the show. I'm fishing today with Chase Parsons. We're out on Green Bay, which is part of Lake Michigan. And many times when you think of the Great Lakes, you think of things like trolling crankbaits or trolling spinners, fishing out in the open water. But what we're going to do is fish much more traditionally. And by traditionally, I mean we're going to fish up in shallow water on structure. There's some rock humps with some weeds around them that we're going to either try and pitch jigs to or crankbaits and try and trigger these shallow water fish. We've got a great day to do this because we've got a little bit of wind to get these shallow fish active. So let's go shallow and show you how to get the next bite.
It isn't very often that Keith Kavajecz or Chase Parsons cast for walleyes out on the Great Lakes. In fact, most of their time, especially when out on the expanse of these open waters, is typically spent trolling for walleyes.
Going after spinners, going after cranks. When they're hot, you're hot.
But of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't some really fantastic casting opportunities that can be found out here as well.
Kind of work our way around that reef, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
And flicker shads are every bit as effective for casting to classic walleye Great Lake structure as they are for trolling it.
Up, just a little bit. Oh.
Well, that worked. Not the biggest ones in the world, but man, they fight good. When you only catch them, we're only in like 5-6 feet of water here, and I'm sure we're casting up to about 3 or 4, but you know, you just, wham, they smack that flicker shad. A lot of weeds. 73-degree water, though. It's time of year when weeds grow, I guess.
Some pretty thick ones there, too.
I think with this bright skies like this, they probably are, you know, kind of hanging in around them weeds, using it as shade a little bit. And when a crankbait comes by, they either come out after it, or when that crankbait hits those weeds and you pop it out, it triggers them to bite. So either way, we like it. That one.
Fish.
Yep. That one, Chase.
Better get the net. What do you think?
I think it's a walleye. He's just kind of dogging down there.
All right.
That's a decent one.
That's
a decent one.
Right.
Oh.
And he's off.
Must have been a good netting
Quick
job, huh?
release. I think it was a great netting job.
I just came to a little bit of a weed and felt it kind of clog up my lure, and I just ripped it, and then as I started to crank, bang, he hit it hard. There you go. Little chunky bugger, huh?
Yeah.
It'll work.
Nice.
Came after that flicker shot. Nice. All right, here we go. It's fun when they hit. Woo! One of the cool things we're doing today is fishing out on the Great Lakes, but a lot of times when you think of Great Lakes, you think of trolling and deep water and stuff. What we're fishing is actually some very shallow structure, very typical walleye structure. We've got a shallow reef that comes up to about 2 or 3 feet, surrounded by about 10 or 12 feet of water. Now the nice thing about this reef is that there's pretty good weed growth around it. So what we're actually fishing is early this morning, we found some of the fish actually right up on the reef. They're fishing the windy side of the reef where the wind was blowing in. But as the sun came up and the water is starting to calm down a little, the fish actually just moved out a little bit deeper, and now we're out in the weeds. So it's a very cool situation, shallow structure with weeds around it, and we're just kind of moving with the walleyes as they move around during the day.
We're casting crankbaits today, and we're really using a pretty simple retrieve method. It's a steady retrieve, but we are fishing an area that has some weed growth. And when you're casting crankbaits in weedy areas, it can be kind of a pain. You're getting a lot of weeds on the hooks, but there's a few things you can do to be more successful in areas like this. The first thing would be, basically, when you cast out the bait, as soon as you feel weeds, you just give it a little pop. And what you're actually doing is that crankbait's hitting these weeds, and you can actually pop it right through the weeds. And it's causing a reactionary bite from some of these fish. And man, when they see that crankbait get caught up in the weed, bust out, they're really cracking it. So that's one thing you can do, is just kind of work it through the weeds a little bit different. The other thing that you want to do, and we're dealing with a little bit of wind today, you really want to work downwind. You want to work with the wind, because what's happening is these weeds are laying over in the direction that the wind's going. And it's allowing you to cast out the crankbait, and you're not picking up quite as much as you normally would if you're working in other directions. So you want to work with the wind, you want to rip your crankbaits through the weeds, and you're going to have one heck of a time catching walleyes casting cranks.
It doesn't take long for weather to flip-flop on the big waters of Lake Michigan, and as Keith Kavajecz and Chase Parsons move to a new spot, an incoming storm on the horizon alerts them that their remaining time on the water could be running out.
Pretty nasty. We don't check the radar here.
As they continue to cast, hoping that the approaching cell may yet miss them, one thing remains clear. The walleyes thankfully don't seem to notice.
Here's one.
Okay.
He's cruising. He's up. There we go.
I'm down. He's on.
He's up. And he's in. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
beautiful.
You take it. I'm going to quick get back on that troll
All right.
so you don't
Yep.
drift up on that shallow.
Oh. Absolutely cracked it, man. For how hard he hit, I thought he was going to be a little bit bigger than that.
How'd you like that kamikaze netting job?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Kind of tried to dive bomb it.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
Getting any more out of the rest of the day isn't looking good, as the last light of the sunset is overcome by dark swells of clouds. The path of the storm cell hasn't shifted, and in fact it is approaching a little too quickly now for Keith's liking.
Well, let's load up and go. I tell you what, as much fun as we're having out here, this little baby right here is going to shut things down. This is a great little boat, but certainly got to be careful with it out here on the Great Lakes. But we had a great time out here. I mean, it's not often you can come out on the Great Lakes, find some shallow water weed fish, use crankbaits to catch them, and I mean, they just smoked those flicker shads. I mean, smoked them. But we're going to get out of here while the going's good.
Even though the nasty storm cell from last night has since passed, the wind hasn't let up, and it is taking quite a bit of battery juice to keep the boat in the right position as Keith and Chase continue casting cranks to shallow Great Lake structure, in this case, a reef surrounded by weeds. But Keith has a plan for extending their time on the water while maintaining accuracy in his boat control.
You know, one of the things about fishing in these smaller boats is a lot of times you don't have the big banks of batteries or the real strong trolling motor. And when a wind comes up like this, a lot of people, you know, they kind of let the wind dictate how they're fishing, and you really don't want to do that. You still got to keep your boat control real precise. So what I did is, instead of, you know, working my engine too hard and wearing down my battery, because this afternoon the wind's supposed to die down and I can go back up there, I just simply do something called back trolling. It's kind of nice with this, you know, size engine here. Yeah, even though it's 115 horse, you know, it's a 4-stroke, so it's real quiet, idles down real good. And all I'm doing is kind of slip sliding the wind here. I'm just kind of sliding along the edge. We're fishing the upwind edge of this reef. I'm just kind of slip sliding along here. Move Chase up to the front, he can cast up on the reef. So don't wear down your batteries when the wind comes up. Don't lose your boat control. Take control, use your big engine, keep your boat in position, and keep catching walleyes. Fell off. Oh, he's on there. Came right back and hit it again. Boy, look at how wild this one is. Oh, he's coming up.
Yeah.
Nice fish. Oh, anybody that says walleyes don't fight haven't caught them in real shallow water. There we go. Oh, got him. What kind of netting was that?
That's as far as I can go. I'm from the front of the boat. Where's the fish? Oh, extension. I almost fell right out. He's in the net, though. He's in the right place.
I like it. Nice one. He fought good. I thought for a second he got off, but I think he just turned and ran towards me so fast that I couldn't keep up with him even. Yeah, that's a good fish.
Very nice.
Real stocky, real plump little fish. But boy, they just, pow, they hit that crankbait, and look at how nice and chunky that thing is, just like big and round. But they fight so wild. I actually thought it was off for a second, but I think it was just running so fast towards me, it got on it. But
You want to be getting the boat?
yeah, that's fun when they smack that crankbait. All right, now let me put him back here. I'm sure he'll be all right. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Between the wind and the waves, the success behind this crankbait bite is coming down to feel.
He not only hit close, young man, but he hit under the boat. Okay, here he comes, Chase.
Whether the walleyes are biting in the weeds that surround the reef closer to the boat,
And he hit right, the boat was kind of swinging around. He hit right under the bow. Green and white again, chartreuse and white, I guess it's called. I like it. I like it.
or whether they're hitting from further out off the cups of the reef.
You hit out there pretty far.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, yeah. Coming up. There we go.
Nice fish.
All right.
That's a good one. Nice fish. Let me get back on the motor.
Yeah.
Being able to more easily detect bites is what is boosting the number of walleyes that are finding their way into the boat.
Nice fish.
It almost felt like he hit it and missed it, and then I kind of stopped for a second, and then he cracked it again. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice fish.
Angled him, huh?
Angled him. Angled him, yep.
Angling's good.
Very, very nice fish. God, just chunky. Those are good ones to catch.
That's a great one.
All right, here we go. Oh, yeah.
There we go. For equipment today, we're using pretty standard crankbait casting equipment. First of all, you want about a 7-foot long rod. A little bit longer one like that is just going to let you cast further. It also gives you a longer rod to shock absorb when these fish hit. They're really hitting it hard. When you're looking at the type of rod, we actually designed one for Bass Pro. It's called a cranking rod, but if you look at it, when you bend the rod, it really bends a long way down the backbone, about halfway down, compared to like a jigging or rigging rod, which is a fast taper rod. So this is a slower taper rod, and again, it's to take up that shock absorption of the initial hit of the fish. I'm using Fireline on here. I like Fireline 10-pound test because it's no stretch. What that does is let me real easily feel that bait vibrating out there. Real important around these weeds because you got to know if you even touch the weeds so you can rip it out of the weeds. The other thing you're going to feel is sometimes the bait will actually feel like it's almost pausing, and that's a fish swiping at the bait and missing it. And if you feel one of those pauses all of a sudden in the vibration, a good thing to do is just stop reeling for a second, then take off again, and sometimes that triggers a strike. So with the right rod, the right line, and the right lure, pretty easy to come out here and catch some nice walleyes casting crankbaits. Nice.
Topics, leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
Fishing boats have lots of electronics, from chargers to graphs and radios, and they all have to connect to your battery. Usually all of them are lumped on, the cables are stacked on each other, and it's real messy. They're hard to get at if you need to do a repair later. But every once in a while you see an item that makes life easier. This is a battery cable kit, very heavy duty. Slips right over your terminal. I've got this one attached. There's many attachments, so you can actually take each cable one at a time, attach it in place, and if you have to get back later to make a repair, very easy to do without having to take it all apart again. So it's really kind of a nice organized way to get your batteries set up properly. But the one thing I really like, it's really tough in a fishing boat with all the cables stacked to get a proper guard on top of the terminal. This guard is huge. It's big, it's roomy, and it actually works. It just clips into place. There's a lot of room for the cables to come out, and it's extremely safe. So again, this is the battery cable kit. It's made by Mercury Marine, and you can find it at your local dealership.
Despite the brief evening storm that cooled things down for a minute, for professional anglers Keith Kavajecz and Chase Parsons, this Lake Michigan walleye bite has stayed hot.
Yep, I got one. I didn't know for sure at first. I think he hit it coming at me.
As they cast flicker shads to classic shallow structure on the Bay of Green Bay.
This could be a good fish chase.
You get it pulling off of a weed or something? Or?
Yeah, it just kind of mushed out there. There he is out there. Coming right to you. Yep, get him. There we go.
Of course, in a fishery as diverse as this, they can't all be walleyes.
What do you got on there?
I don't know, but it's big.
Something big, yeah. World record walleye. Is it whining out?
Yeah. That's running off to the side.
I'd say you got Carpula.
I'm winded. I'm very winded. Just, oh.
That's a beauty there.
I'm so tired, I gotta let this thing go.
You all right?
I'm spent.
In hopes of maybe getting a bigger fish, out of curiosity, Keith decides to break out a ripple shad, a lure type that should also prove quite worthy of this weedy walleye structure bite, but instead finds himself face to face with his old nemesis.
We're out on the flats of the Florida Panhandle, fishing for freshwater drum today, up in the shallows. We're just spotting them out in the real shallows out there, and throwing a little swim bait at them. It's kind of a special technique that not many people know about. You can see there's nobody out here with us, but we're gonna try and get some bigger ones than that. That's just a little guy.
And while the ripple shad does draw out a few bites,
As the sun comes up, maybe they work off that shallow a little bit, but still got plenty of wind. Yeah, he'll do, won't he?
the consistency is definitely with the cranks.
Boy, did he pound it, Chase. He just whacked it.
And having switched back, Kavajecz is hoping that the beefier head shakes off his next bite don't turn into rolling, a telltale sign of another sheephead.
Now we're getting all the way around to this side. Well, he's gonna come all the way around, isn't he? It's gonna be a good fish, Chase. Come
He doesn't want to come up, does he? Going around the back.
Keep coming, keep coming.
It's a walleye. It's a walleye.
It's coming all the way around.
Yep.
It's way out there, Chase. Get after him, get him, get him. I got him. Nice, nice fish. All right, yes.
That's kind of a circus act. Man, good fish though.
He's kind of coming all the way around, all the way around.
Good fish though.
He's a
man.
nice one. Look at how chunky. I mean, they've been eating good, but take one more bite on the old flicker shad, huh? That's a good one. We'll take that. And I mean, he hit it way at the end of the cast and just pile drove that thing. With that fire line, you feel everything and bam, he hit it and I got him, good. There we go. Oh,
What do you got there? Positive?
It's got the,
Positive?
it's got a lot out of that.
Boy, they like that ripple shad, huh?
No, just a better angler than you are.
Yeah.
Fishing boats have lots of electronics, from chargers to radios to graph systems, and they all need to connect to the battery. Battery.
You would catch the littlest one
Just a beast.
ever.
These musky reels have recently been retooled, so the tolerances are extremely tight. You've got a great mushy,
For more information on walleyes, muskies, or northern pike, check out the forums, videos, and articles updated daily at thenextbite.com, where you can always count on real fishing information from real fishing experts.